understand that you use finite things like idols, and you give a form to God, to relate to God. But like a pilgrimage, a places where people go on pilgrimage, one of the places is Mysore, and that's because a goddess, mother goddess, she came down and to destroy a demon or something similar. I don't understand, because we made up that person so we can relate to that infinite thing. So how can the infinite come into that person for that one day? And if that person did, they would have made a really big deal of it, wouldn't they? Because like suddenly this person came and that person went back. So
see, when we were explaining in the book the idea of places of pilgrimage, we say, how do you choose places of pilgrimage? You see, we analyze things. Whenever you study any subject, learn to classify, categorize things, and your thinking will be very clear. So in the sense, we say, okay, pilgrimage. So we say, how do you choose place of pilgrimage? We said, well, there can be various things that will influence your choice of pilgrimage. One can be just purely geographic reason, in the sense that that particular place is so fantastic, so beautiful, that your mind thinks of higher things as soon as you go there. Like suppose you go to the mountain top of Himalayas or somewhere near on the periphery, and you see the Himalayas, it will immediately inspire to higher things. So some places have purely geographic significance, like some of the rivers and the lakes and the oceans and the mountains. They inspire us, make us think of higher things. This is how they are chosen. Some places of, this is how the book is well classified. Some places of pilgrimage are chosen because of historic, and the other word is this, mythological significance of that place. See, I have used two words. It may be historic or it may be mythological. Now, for example, if you say Ayodhya, the Hindus would say Ayodhya is a historic place where we say a historic personality called Ram lived. So it has got historic significance. So we say we can dig out and we can do some kind of astronomical research. That's how they're doing it, to try and date Ramayana. So they said it occurred about 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. And how do they know? In some of the chapters on Ramayana, they are talking about the signs of the zodiac, in the sense that what the stellar constitution was all about in the time of Ram at that particular juncture. So by extrapolating, you can find out how far back those planets were in that position in the skies, and then try and give a date. So this is how, you can't say it's foolproof, but this is the best we can do. There's no historic further history. We just basically say that this personality was so dramatic, it can't be just a made-up story. It must be some person called Ram lived. So there you are, but very honest. So it can have historic significance. Some stories have mythological significance. Mythology means what? Narrative, just storytelling. Storytelling are a very powerful way of presenting very important, interesting ideas in a colorful way, in a digestible manner. Look, if you tell your children things which are story related, they will immediately relate to your religion. Suppose you tell them this is factual, this is what happened, they lose interest. But when you weave it into a story, a colorful story, they will immediately get engaged and absorb that idea more easily. So storytelling or narrative are a useful thing in every religion. Every religion uses them. Some do not acknowledge it, but it's there. So some of the stories in the Bible we would say are mythological. They are stories. They can't be real. So those mature theologians will say they are stories, they are just allegoric. Allegoric means stories, not real, not literal. In the same way, the Hindus also reckon, that's the word Puran. Puran, the word Puran means legendary. It says story. Legendary is like the grandmother telling legendary stories. So they are legendary stories, but they are very powerful religious legendary stories. So one such religious stories about the idea of Mother Goddess Devi comes in the idea there was a horrible monster called Mahisa, who was half human, not half, half bull and half human or something. You can imagine straight away, this can't be literally true. We have never discovered animals like which are half human, half animal. So here is the Mahisa, which is half animal, half human. So that we know straight away is story. And to defeat this horrible monster, which was half demonic, half animal, half beast, we had to bring in the Mother Goddess coming down and say, I'll sort you out, my boy. So here the story of Mahisa Sura. Mardani means the one who destroyed Mahisasur comes as the Mother Goddess Durga coming down. And that place, because they say this is where the legendary battle took place, is in the hilltop of Mysore. Sorry, the word Mysore came from Mahisasur. So this is how that particular place became a place of pilgrimage for the mother goddess, because the legendary story talks about this particular demon being defeated here. Treat it as you like it. If, for example, you are very devout and say, no, this actually happened, and this is the value to think, you say, good for you. You still want to live like that. Suppose you are mature, a youngster, you say, I can't, just as this lady asked, how can this be possible? Suddenly this mother goddess comes and destroys and disappears. I mean, how can you reconcile with common sense? It's not a literal story. So I'm saying, yes, it is not a literal story. You must not interpret it as literal truth, interpret it and use it as a story. Then you are safe. Otherwise, just as she challenged straight away, all youngsters will challenge, this is all nonsense, can't be true. Suddenly mother goddess coming and killing half man, half animal. Where do you get this from? Storytelling. So this is why some places of pilgrimage have mythological significance, not historic ones.